you that are more funny than the actual joke. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I've got a poem for you guys. Hopefully it'll be a funny poem. I dig, you dig, he digs, she digs, we dig, they dig. It's not a long poem, but it's deep. I got a chuckle out of Jeremy. I like that. That's good. That's good. So, awesome.
That's good. That's good.
I hear you laugh out. You're laughing.
Yes.
I appreciate that. So our speaker today, again, formatting. You know that I even checked the one that I converted this week. So I don't even think it's me. I think it is the actual computer because I double checked it before I sent it and it was all fine. So I don't know what's going on there. But so our guest speaker today is Christy Sanford, who's Executive Director at Greenhouse Ministries. I hope we're all familiar with Greenhouse Ministries and a lot of the work that they do in our community, but Christy's here to tell us a little bit more about that. So come on.
All right, good afternoon. I know I have to follow a crazy joke. You guys can hand those out. I'm excited. They asked if I had to come visit. I was just on someone earlier. My parents started the ministry, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. But there is a problem in our family, and we talk a lot. So it's not a problem. I did not bring a slideshow, no any information like that. What I did bring is I want to tell you who we are and what we do. And then, of course, I have some backgrounds for you. And I also brought a few of our 2025 year in review because I know a lot of people have questions about what we did last year. So I'd love to invite you to take one of this as well. So Greenhouse Ministries, how many have actually heard of Greenhouse? Oh, I love it. I love it. Normally I go and I have like one or two hands. So having pretty much everyone have heard about it, I'm just going to give you a little bit of the history. My parents are Cliff and Jane Sharp. If you know anything about Greenhouse, you've probably met them. They're pretty amazing. I could probably spend all my time talking about them. I will tell you a fun story because it is Olympics time. He actually was the president of the Athletic Congress in Arkansas and a national track photo finish, which they don't really do anymore because, we're all digital. But he was the official leader. So he was decathlon team several times to events, and he was an official for the LA Olympics way back when. And so I like to brag on him a little bit. He comes from a very diverse background of coaching. He coached college football and lots of other things in track and field. But the reason I share that is because that's how we started Greenhouse. He had a desire and to really coach people and love on them. We had an idea that we knew we wanted to really love on people, not just hand something, give them food, and see what happens. It says in Scripture that those who just say many blessings on you don't do anything. It's really sad. So that's what we've down to. So my dad and parents have been very well known. We call the Dry Pregnancy Horse Center, and it's South Portico. He moved here, and he was going to be on staff at the church in Nashville, and I don't know who was going to retire, decided not to retire. So my parents were like, what are we going to do? And they asked him to come on board at the Rice Pregnancy Center and help raise funds. He had been there for 3 weeks, and the director retired, so he was the interim director for 9 years. And we laugh about that because it's like he just thought he was temporarily there. But what he did see is that we were helping the individual girl, but we weren't really changing the family culture. And so they had heart to really do that. And so they attended a program in Phoenix, Arizona, and they witnessed a church that did a parade of ministries, and there were 250 ministries that went across the stage. And it wasn't because the church started the ministries, it's because the people had a heart to serve. And these were all ministries that had started within their congregation. And they were very inspired. So they went to LA and visited the Dream Center, which is now located in the old City of Angels Hospital. And something clicked. They were like, this is what we need in Rutherford County. So they came back and they said, let's figure out how to do it. We're not sure how to make it work, but let's do it. So they invited Steve and Linda Tony. You might know her, going around their age here. It's Peaches from Peaches and Herb. So she sang the song United. I'm not singing her today. But they actually came to us. That's 1898. And we went to 3 different locations and we did just loving people. And the last night, we actually had people who came and put drugs on the stage, knives, guns, and sang it to the lost. Well, it was 250 people. What do you do with those people? We want to love on them, but we want to just give them a drag in a bottle. We really want to see somebody walk with them and encourage them and become who they're created to. So that's how Greenhouse actually started from that point. And it's an amazing ride. My parents wanted to make sure we had a dual ministry and then focus. So one of the focuses is serving they had to that to do it through volunteers. So 5 volunteers are as significant as our clients. And you will see that it takes about 600 volunteer hours a week to make house function. We have a very full staff, maybe, but they're really there just to make sure it's set up for volunteers to really soar and do exactly what they want to do. And we love questions, have you worked out? And that's what our volunteers come with. One of those questions for our health. And that's one of the things I want to share with you about Take. We have health clinic. That year we'll partner with St. Louis Clinic. And it started because we had a lady who's a nurse, and she said, have you ever thought about taking blood pressure? And I'm like, no, our blood is probably if you try it. So she's sent a log, and she took blood pressure, she visited with people, did a lot of the general education, and that first year we saw about 3 million people, which is amazing. And we have expanded that, and we have clinic, and we have RNs that come on our leadership, and then also have residents from St. Louis Clinic. So we're able to really serve a lot of population that doesn't want to maybe like the ER or something like that. We have some friends who live in it, who have been advice, and they're so very help, and they're just coming there. I love how wildlife, I see our exchange languages, and they're just visiting with them, they're solid both of the things. To me, that's exactly what we're doing. And it started because we had a volunteer who was interested, and just had it. And so for me, that's no story I like to share. Another story I like to share is our sunglasses. We actually have about 6 of us now. The reason they started is because we had a lady who was at Free Samples, and she came back and she said, "Oh, helped me so much. I really took it back." And I said, "What would you like to do?" And she said, "I like to sew." And now they're open to sew as well. You could go to class, and we couldn't know couples languages. So we did that, and she started class, and our friends at WGNS got her about it, and we have senior planter who changed names to them, but they're still here. And they actually heard about it, and they brought us 20 new sewing machines. And now we're able to maintain those. We have a whole room dedicated for that. We actually host quilts of ours as well. And so, like I said, we have 3 or 4 of the sewing classes available now, and it's great. So going back to Greenhouse, I really want to just share the basic. The basic is what we want to do is we want to help, we want to educate, and we want to connect. And so you'll see that all 3 of those fit into who we really want to be. We really want to help physical needs, and it might be that they need food. It might be that they have no bed. It might be that they just need clothes for a new job they've received. And then what we do is we help them with education. We have basic education from computer classes, maybe tutoring for GED, which is now called HiSET. We also have the fun classes like the sewing and the cooking. We've had origami classes. And then, of course, we have the court-ordered classes, which is our parenting, marriage, and management, things like that. And then we have another category that we've added the last few years, and it's our community classes. Last year, we had a, hopefully I'll say it right, forensic and, I'm going to say it wrong. He works at the body farm in Knoxville. So, what is it? Okay, so he came, and it was amazing, standing room only, and we're just offering more and more classes for the community like that. And we've got one coming up this summer, and we're going to partner with the police department here. If you know Detective Sam Day, he's pretty amazing, works on Vice, and he's going to come talk about trafficking, how to help be aware, how to spot it, what you can do as just your normal person in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to really help in that. So we have a lot of classes. And then our connection. We have so many amazing nonprofits and agencies here in Rutherford County. I say it all the time that we're spoiled here, because there's not really a competition. They all have different aspects that are amazing, and their services are unique. And so we might get people to come to Greenhouse first, and then we say, if time and money were not an issue, what would you be doing? And some people know right away. They're like, this is what I want to do. I had a young man in recently, and he said, I really wanted to do podcasts. And I'm like, great. What's holding you back? And we talked about that. I was like, I made one step towards that. And he's like, I did buy a microphone. And then you could just see his face change, his expression, because no longer was he focused on the things that he couldn't do, but he was focused on what he could do. And we started talking about that. And so as a result, we were able to connect him with some people who actually do podcasts, and he was able to connect with them and find out some more information. So for us, we really focus on the help, the educate, and connect. So we are based on Luke 2:52, Jesus grew in wisdom, stature, and favor with God and men, and that's how we follow help, educate, and connect. One of the other things we get asked a lot is, how many people do you serve a day? If you asked me like 2 years ago, I said 30, 40 people. We are averaging about 75 to 80 a day right now. And the growth that we've had in Rutherford County has affected everything. Not just people who are moving in and can't find affordable housing or whatever the case might be, but it's also affecting people here. And so what we're seeing is coming in. It may not be your people that you see that are sitting in the corner. That's not who we really serve. Who we're serving is what we call our working poor. And that's the one we really want to help and really encourage them and see what we can do to get them that next step up. We're really trying to work with people to help them not fall off what we call the benefits cliff. If you have heard of that, we have lots of people that need us help, and so they're on lots of benefits. And what we want to do is to encourage them so that as they grow in their career or maybe something else, they're able to not fall off and lose all those benefits at the same time and be back to square one. So we spend a lot of time just really supporting people, walking with them over time, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, some even 15, because now we're in our 26th year. And it's so sweet to have someone come back and say, remember when I took a computer class, and now I'm doing this. And it's so fun. We love to hear that story. But one of the things that I really want to encourage you and any group that I can in is what we're really looking for at Greenhouse Ministries is ambassadors. Yes, we would love to have your dollars. Yes, we'd love to have you as a volunteer. But what we're really looking for is for you to share about Greenhouse as you're on about. We have some people, like I said earlier, that have too, that don't know that we're able. And we love to be a resource for people. We love to be able to help. It doesn't matter what you're weird. And so what we ask different people is just what you share about the Greenhouse is as you're walking in the community, as you're out. If you're in like this, or if you're in this hours or whatever the case may be, if you say, hey, have you heard about Greenhouse? If you haven't, just share a little bit. All you have to remember is that we help, we educate, and we connect. And the first they can get on any of our socials, find out what's happening. They can go to our website, all of the things. One of the other things I'd love to specifically ask this group is we have a men's program called Living University. If you have driven by Greenhouse Ministries, we have one side of the street is where we have a thrift store called Garden Patch, and all the monies that comes in there go right after our ministry. And then on the other side, we actually have our ministry building, education, all this, and it's a beautiful two-story building. The second floor is all Living University. We have 17 studio apartments for men, and we call this our post recovery. And what I'm asking for, and I love it because y'all are professionals, we do a semester at a time, and they have 15 modules they walk through each semester. The men can stay between 12 and 18 months because there are some things that they can do on their own. They could finish a little faster, but most of them stay around 18 months. But we have a calendar, and I brought it with me because I'm asking for help, and each module has a topic. And what we're needing is we're needing some teachers. And it's not, you don't have to be a professional teacher to do it, but what we're really looking for are professional people who have a story, who can share maybe how they got there, and cover a few topics and a few points of that particular topic. For example, we have some finance classes coming up, and Brady has connected us with some finance people. And really what I don't want to share is all the nitty-gritty of finance, but to share about how they got there and what finance means to them, and a few tips and tricks. And so what we're really looking for is maybe some role models for these gentlemen to look up to. And so if that's something you're interested in, I would love to visit with you afterwards. But we have all sorts of categories, including etiquette. We have a beautiful family that comes and we teach them to know what spoon or to use, how to tie a tie. We love our men who never want to tie. And I think that's something that you may know how to teach them how to stand, put the stand, and shake, all the things. If somebody doesn't know how to tie, I'll tell them in the classes, you can come. But it is amazing, and they do classes here, and we have it there for them, and to use all the skills there. So we have everything. So finance, goal setting, leadership skills. We have citizenship, culture, maybe your family history. A lot of our gentlemen upstairs don't even know where their name came from. A lot of them have been in foster care system. and they don't actually know their name. So what we'd like to do is maybe have them take a little bit and explore. So it's a lot of topics. We would love to include people in the community that have walked through some things. Maybe you're in a personal place now, or maybe you're retired and you're looking for a way to give back. It's a perfect way. I have class on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings. Plus about an hour, and you can choose one a year. You can choose more. But anyway, I have a calendar of that, so that is one ask I would love to make here. And I want to spend a little bit of time. I don't know how much time I have. I got them. Good. What I want to do is really answer questions. People are always like, what does greenhouse not do? And that sometimes is easier to explain. But what I really like to do is answer questions. A lot of people know a tiny bit about greenhouse, but they don't know maybe what we do on a regular basis. So if you have questions, I would love to answer them. And if not, I can continue to tell some amazing stories. My dad is the master storyteller, but it's rubbing off on me. But anyway, I would love to answer any questions that you have about greenhouse or maybe something that's coming up. I'm happy to answer any questions. Sure. Yes. Yes, I should tread lightly. Ivy on Spring, we have a new venture. It's actually really not a new venture. We are expanding our retail. As you know, like many other nonprofits, you have to have funds and donations. So one of the things that we really convict of is being good stewards of what we have and what we put in. And so for us, we have a first store for retail, and it's an expansion of our retail space. And we will offer coffee. We also are going to have consignment area in there as well, and it's will be open for people to use for maybe meeting for coffee or meetings. So to answer your question, we are almost cleared in the city. We got past the race track, praise the Lord, and so we are close. We have some things that have started back, but we are pausing. We've got to get one more permit, and hopefully that will happen for some next week. The goal is to open April. You know how it is. You can have a projection date. Sometimes it happens earlier or later, but right now our goal is April. But we would love for you to all come. But we are going to have a coffee station, a coffee bar, and they'll have retail and then space available as well. So, good question. Yes?
How do you guys do what you do for volunteerism? And I'm asking that, I'm being in the nonprofit for 25 years and doing that. I've never seen anybody desperate like you all do. The things you do, you bust them out, or you burn them out. But, what's your secret sauce to that? Because somebody that understands all that, I'm just amazed how you engage with me. So.
Thank you, first of all. I appreciate that. And a secret sauce to volunteering and keeping them. For me, I would say one of our goals, kind of like what I explained earlier, is what we really want to do is what they want to do. If a volunteer comes into our orientation and they've said, I've seen what you do, I'm really interested in this particular area, absolutely would like to be involved in this area. And so a lot of it is just allowing them to choose. And then if it's not an area that they are enjoying, we're like, would you like to try another area? Most of our volunteers, I would say, in the last year have come in already knowing what they want to do, which is a great problem for us because we're like, absolutely, we'll just cheer you on. We do have some that come in and like, I had no idea what I would like to do, but I'll try different areas. And so we do as well. We try to make it fun. We have a lot of things that happen. The third week of every month, we have a volunteer appreciation. They get treats. They get celebrated. We have a big event. We celebrate them once a year. We try really hard to level them a lot and try to accommodate a lot. We do everything from court order to book rehab in summer. We have 8, I think, right now from there. We have lots of different varied groups that come. So I know there's a secret sauce, but hopefully I could say it's our culture. We have this thing that's called the greenhouse way. And acronym is drugs, which we think is funny because it's the good drugs we want to have a greenhouse. But what it really stands for is dignity, respect, bringing unity, offering grace, and serving. And so for us, it's very, very important that that's felt in all aspects. And so for us, if we volunteer that is disgruntled or unhappy with that, we will have a conversation and say, hey, what can we do to make it better? So hopefully that's our secret sauce filter, but I can't do much more than that.
I formed into a question for the rest really my practice.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yes?
Can you talk a little bit about Bennett's Cliff and exactly
Sure.
considering it, right?
Sure.
Comes engagement, what exactly is that?
Absolutely. Let's say I Sally Sue, is my example. Sally Sue comes in, she's a single mom, maybe has 4 kids. She might be on SNAP, which is your food stamps benefits. She might have childcare included. And then she might be receiving Section 8, so maybe she pays a reduced rent. So if Sally Sue decides to go and to get a degree in something special, or if she decides she wants CRN, so she starts as CRN, then LPN, and then RN. As she is climbing that, she begins to lose benefits as she increases in her salary or her pay. And so what we like to do is to support her under that process. So we do have a grant right now called Our Chance of Tennessee, and we walk with about 100 families units in that, and then we also do it internally as well, separate from the grant. And what we do is we might take Sally Sue, we help connect her and allow her to get into the nursing program. We help her with grants, things like that, scholarships, and so that would get her foot in first. And then when she starts making money, she's probably going to lose a little bit of her SNAP dollars. She might lose child care benefits. So we partner with other child care centers that might have a voucher that she could use for 6 months until she gets stable. And then we might help her find housing because she might lose her Section 8 housing. So she would have lost her SNAP, she would have lost her child care, and then her housing. So as a result, she might have panic mode. But because we've walked with her through that, there's no panic. And we're able to really undergird and support her.
How many of those benefits are graduated where you lose a little bit of time, and how many of them are at the same income limit? So, if you get $35,000, you let all that support go, or how exactly does that work?
It has been raised. So I think we're around $84,000 right now for a family unit of 4. And that could be 3 kids and a mom. It could be 2 adults and a child. 2 children. It could be families look different now. And so, but what happens is, for example, SNAP is probably the easiest to explain. If they get an increase, they might have $200 a month, just random. They might lose $15 a month. And then if they increase a little bit more, they might actually lose $50. So they might get really only at $60 a month. And that's where we can come in with groceries or other benefits. So yes, Some of them are, but some of them are not graduated. I will tell you, the population that are on a lot of these benefits are super well aware and super intelligent. They know to the dollar what they can make and where it falls. And so we work with them, we set budgets, we calculate all that out, and we make sure that they do not crash. That's basically what we say. So hopefully that answered your question. Okay. Anything else? Yes?
Well, you mentioned SNAP. I want to ask you a nutrition question. Ask what you do in the area of nutrition. I know that a lot of the people that you serve, they find themselves in a food desert. And then tie that in. I know when you are supplying groceries, it's hard to maintain fresh food, so it's highly processed food. How do y'all approach that?
That's a great question. We are very blessed because we are in the top 3 of second harvest distributors throughout Middle Tennessee. So we actually pick up direct. So we actually pick up Sprouts twice a week. We pick up from Aldi's twice a week, and Amazon, Walmart. I could go on and on. We probably pick up about 5 different a week, and there's some that we pick up twice a month. We also partner with Midwest Food Bank, and the beautiful part of those is most of that is going to be your proteins. It's going to be your fresh vegetables. We do not have a deficit on salads, fresh vegetables. We even have 2 farmers that in the summer provide tomatoes, cucumbers, things like that. We have 2 farms that actually provide eggs for us, so we're able to give those out as well. So typically, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but we do have a food problem in Rutherford County, but it's actually too much. And part of it is kind of what you're alluding to. There is a lot of food available. There's a lot of canned beans, green beans. There's a lot of canned corn. There is a lot of processed food. The deficit comes into the fresh food. It is very difficult to get that. So as I said, we are very blessed and we're able to give that out. So somebody might be able to go to another location with blessing boxes, things like that, which are amazing, and they can get some canned. But what we really want to offer is your protein and your fresh vegetables. So we're really trying hard to source those. And that's also where our clinic comes in, because we do a lot of education. A lot of our friends have diabetes that are either unhoused or moving a lot, and so we're able to work with them. And we do have like a gluten-free section. We have a diabetic section. So we try to keep lots of those available. Does that answer your question? All right.
Also instrumental to MTSU when I was there, because we didn't have a food bank.
Right.
And we didn't have storage space for a food bank prior to the new student union building and
Yes.
one-stop program. And my assignment was to figure that out. How can we help students in need for food to have access to that? And Cliff did not hesitate a moment. As long as the MTSU students could present a valid student ID card, they had instant access to the food bank there at Greenhouse. Plus, it was within walking distance.
True.
And they never questioned those kids that showed up at the door.
I love that.
Yes. So that was the first MTSU food bank, Greenhouse.
I love it. I do. We still partner with MTSU. We do get a lot of questions. In fact, that reminds me, when people donate items, a lot of times people say, what do you do with your donations? A lot of it does stay on our campus. It might go into what the area we call Spring House. That's actually where we give all of our items out to our clients. And then we have the garden patch. We are very cheesy, so we have lots of garden names. It gets a little confusing. But Spring House is where we give items out to our clients. So everything from household items, foods, clothes, all of the things. And then in Garden Patch, we do sell items, but they are at a reduced cost. So where you might go to the store and pay $50, $60 for a pair of jeans, we might have the same jeans tag on them, and they'll be $5. And then we have a sale, they might be 50% off. This weekend, we had a huge bag sale, stuff in the bag, and everything in the bag was $5. The other option is we actually have about 82 partners that we send items out to. One of them is MTSU. We send clothes over there, domestic violence, Amelia Closet, Journey Home, all of the things. So we also have, like, there's a group that's getting ready to go to Egypt, and they are actually coming to pick up huge amounts of clothes, and they're taking. The story, we get a lot of, if a school does an event and they have their school t-shirts and they have several boxes left, or when McGuire say at McDonald's changed uniforms, we got their old uniforms, boxes and boxes. We don't want them to stay in Rutherford County. We really would like them to go out. So we send them on mission trips. So we had Scott from WGNS actually went to Guatemala on a mission trip, and there was a huge group of people that had on Riverdale t-shirts, and we were like, sorry about that. But it's true, we do. We send a lot of clothes out of the country as well. And then, of course, we've even got groups that we send to Alabama. We've got some in St. Louis. So we actually are sending things out. It doesn't all just stay on our campus. So we get that question a whole lot because, yeah, go ahead.
All these vertical things that you're doing, how many people do you have employed? How many volunteers do you have?
We have 34 employees. All are full-time. A lot of them are part-time. And like I said, it's about 600 hours of volunteer. We tend to track hours as opposed to actual how many slots are filled, if that makes sense, because it is a little confusing. Like, we have some ladies who work in sorting for us. There's some that have been there almost 12 years, and they're amazing. And so there are captains. And so they'll be there, and then they might have 6 people that rotate out in their area during the day. It might be different people, or it might be the same. But I would say on a daily basis, we probably have about 100 volunteers on campus at a time. If we have a group, this 2 Saturdays ago, well, before the ice storm, I'll say that. We had a Saturday afternoon, and we had 65 people come just to do an event. When we do our huge Thanksgiving mobile food pantry, which I'm looking around several friends in the room, and help us with our Thanksgiving mobile food pantry, we serve about 650 families. They get a full Thanksgiving meal, and they get to take it home, going back to the dignity and respect. They take it home and use their family recipes, and they're able to cook it themselves by their friends and family. A lot of y'all have come. We have about 450 volunteers on that one day. So it depends, but it's fun. It's never the same day. All right, any other questions? Take my time, some stuff. Yeah. I love it. Yes, on Michael Street.
Yes. And I know they go like that. It was really fun working with you in those early years.
I love it.
It's been great seeing you guys grow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We like to hear those stories. So, all right, anything else?
One more thing, so if you guys want to on the back, if nothing else, follow Greenhouse on social. Any posts that you like, please just share. It's a simple event, don't cost you a dime. This greenhouse is directly across the street from the new building where you just drop your stuff off. Got clothes, they'll take just about anything. They can either recycle the clothing or sell it for profit to make up with lost grant funding. The other thing on the website is it's called Solar Circle. That's their monthly giving portal. You just only put $60 a month. Just say and forget it. That's really a lot of that base of people that make points to throw it out there.
Absolutely. And I do have the year-end review, and if you were interested in teaching class, I would love to have you. All right, I think that's it.
Thank you. All right. I think we have a lot of amazing organizations in Murfreesboro. You guys are an amazing success story, and expanded out of Rutherford County, out of the country, and help a lot of people in this community. And I wanted to, really quick before we get to Family Rotary, let everybody know we are not going on our field trip to Middle Tennessee Electric on the 24th. We're going to have a regular meeting here. Ben and I are working on what the presentation will be. So we'll have that field trip at another time, but on the 24th we'll have a regular meeting here, not at Middle Tennessee Electric. I didn't put that in the presentation, so I wanted to remember. Family Rotary, I think we probably have a lot going on here. Stacy sent me a message, and Gray has had multiple health issues. Was in the ER, I think 2 days ago. So just keep her in your prayers. Hopefully they're going to find some resolution today, but she has several different illnesses going on that she's dealing with. Joseph is back, so super excited to see him. Appreciate you being here. My mom starts her treatment. Are we off the